Guys, in this video, I am giving you 5 hacks that every winger needs to know. This is going to make you one of the best wingers on your team and probably your league. That's coming up next. When I'm busy doing totally legitimate things, I rely on OneFootball to give me all the news stories, fixtures, results, and more from the world of football. Download it for free today. All right, guys, first hack, and this is a very simple one that unfortunately I see a lot of wingers making this mistake, and it's not getting wide often. You know, one of the things you want to understand being a winger is you need to be one of the most skillful players, and you need to be a guy that's getting isolated one-on-one. A lot of wingers will pinch more towards the middle even when the ball is moving towards this side. And when you're over here, it gives the defender a little more opportunity to get closer to you. But if you come out here, open your body up so that your first touch is towards their goal, immediately when you get it, you can then attack them and isolate this one guy. It gives you way more options where if I get the ball right here in the middle, now I have to either push it out wide or I'm going to go into the middle where there's way too many people. So if I push it out wide now, the defender is going to have the advantage, where if I just receive it here, my first touch is positive this way, then it's going to be much easier for me to take this guy one-on-one, get him isolated, even have him back off, which is going to afford me way more options. So just remember, as a winger, you need to be getting out wide very, very often, especially if the ball is on your side. Be available out wide, even just for the pass if you have to pass it back, but there will be many more opportunities for you to run at the guy, be dangerous, get isolated with this guy if you're out wide. All right, guys, second hack is run at players. And again, being a winger, you want to be one of the most dangerous players on the pitch. So if you're getting the ball and you have the guy isolated, you're getting out wide, you're doing that first hack right, you're getting yourself into space, and then you're not attacking the defender, the guy who's isolated, well then it doesn't matter if you're getting the ball out there. You're not being dangerous for your team. A lot of wingers who get nervous, I see them, they get the ball and they have all this space and they could run at this guy, put him under pressure, but they'll just pass it back or they will play defensive. And look, I get it, there's an element of risk at running at someone, but you're a winger, you're an attacking player. You have to get that ball, see this space, and immediately sprint into that space and take this guy on. So if you're a winger, and this is something I tell my one-on-one clients all the time as well who are wingers, you have to be dangerous. And a part of that is running at guys, putting them under pressure. Even if they get a toe on the ball, knock it out for a throw, a corner, that's still positive play and that's still going to benefit you. You know, I worked with a winger, he scored I think 1 goal the season before, and we worked on especially this element of his game, and he's ended up scoring 11 goals the next season. You know, just adding this little element to your game of running at guys, being dangerous, getting shots in, you know, taking players one-on-one is going to add so much more to your game and make you a much more effective winger. All right, guys, next is you need to master a certain number of skill moves that are going to help you, do one of 2 things. Cut inside or go to the byline. So I'll give you a few and we'll have some B-roll coming across of some that you can do. But as a winger, you need to be tricky. You need to be unpredictable. You need to be the player that can go either inside or outside and the defender doesn't know what you're going to do. Now, if you only have one move, so let's say you're only good at the step over and you do that a few times, the defender's going to realize that's all you got in your locker and that's what you're going to do. But if you suddenly have other moves that allow you to cut inside, you have moves that allow you to go to the byline, now suddenly the defender doesn't know where you're going. You could do anything. You have all these moves now in your repertoire that are going to allow you to beat this guy that you're now running at. You're getting the space now because you're out wide, you're running at the guy, and now you have the moves that are going to allow you to beat him. So I always say at least master 3 moves and work in 3 moves. At least 2 that help you go inside and outside, and then maybe 1 other that's like a Cruyff turn or something like that, which I also find very useful for wingers when you cut back here, fake a cross, and come back this way. But you need to have moves that allow you to do that. My favorites, to go to the byline, the first one is the step over, coming here and then getting your cross in or doing what you're going to do from there. To cut inside, you actually could just do a little Stanley Matthews or a body feint, but you could come here, quickly cut inside and then whip it in. And like I said, the third move I would recommend is the Cruyff, just because it's so versatile. But make sure you're working on these moves that are going to allow you to be dangerous and beat this guy. Guys, next hack is you need to be making weak side runs. As a winger, you have an opportunity to get in behind a lot more than you realize, especially when you're on the weak side. And by weak side, I just mean the ball is on the opposite side. So let's say your left back has it and you're the right winger. Now, one thing I don't see wingers, again, doing enough is exploiting this space on the weak side. And what you can really do is come from a wide position and start sprinting, curving your run towards the center. And if your left back sees you, he can play you in behind and put you in on goal. But you have to be making these runs in order to allow that to happen. So make sure when you're out here and you're on the weak side, maybe you're jogging a little towards the center and then you burst out that way. Make the eye contact with your player and make that run. It's the same even if your other winger or midfielder has the ball and you're on the weak side. Look for that run in behind very quickly where they don't have a lot of guys here to stop you. And if you time that run well and the pass is good, you're going to get in behind a lot and score a lot more goals through doing that. This is another one that we worked on with my one-on-one client who was a winger. And again, he scored so many more goals because he looked for this run. He looked to get to the back post or to the front post to get that tap in, or he looked to get in behind from the weak side. So make sure you have good movement and you're making that run. Not only is that going to help you score more goals, but it's going to make these defenders really nervous because now they have to keep being alert to whether you're going to make that run, you're not, you're going to come inside or do whatever else. All right, guys, and the final hack, the final thing that you absolutely need as a winger, and this one kills me because I play striker. So when a winger can't do this, it is the most frustrating thing, and it's master crossing the ball into the box. The most frustrating thing for any attacker that's going to get on the end of those crosses potentially is a winger or wide person who can't put in an effective cross where they want to put it. Because there are so many opportunities to put it in a certain spot in the box or perhaps even on the ground for a tap in, but if your crossing ability isn't good enough, you're not going to be able to do that. So make sure this is something you're working on very often. And to work on it, it's actually very simple. You can use a wall, you can use a goal like this, and I could just come side onto the goal, push it out, and practice my crossing. This all has to do with striking of the ball, guys, and repetition. But for all wingers, this is something you should be working on very heavily, because again, you only need to look at players who are getting, so many assists from crossing positions to see how effective this is. I know he's not technically a winger, but Trent Alexander-Arnold, playing out wide in a wide position where he gets to cross a lot, gets so many assists from crossing the ball in accurately, whipping it in with pace, and his attackers love it. His strikers love that he can do that because they get so many goals from these types of positions. So as a winger, you need to make sure you're doing that. Again, you can practice right in a situation like this, pushing the ball out and practicing on your crossing into the goal, against the wall, against the net, get creative with it, but find some way to work on this part of your game because it will kill you as a winger if you can't do this. You'll beat that man to the byline, but then you won't be able to put in a quality ball, so it won't matter. The chance will be wasted. So make sure you're working on your crossing. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this video. As always, check out the other videos I put up on screen if you want to improve your game and stand out on the pitch, and I'll see you in the next video.